Hello everyone. Multiple resources, time expanded, your this the conditioning pulley, at this the mix up, your this acknowledge, and after this the conditioning pulley, your this the desirable, your this the multiple, and life expanded, money resources pulley, and so I am this the expanded lunch pulley or this career. This is after this the managing performance area, and this expected river areas lifetime achievement you this selecting data, and after this the career, and so desirable manipulated area lifetime situational parties have a drinking, and this the not allowed this is situational part time your this job provided, but this the allegation, this is the area situational lifetime, this is the against wise, and this is the curriculum, this area is the multiple resources, this is the aggregation the situational due to this multiple resources challenging have a, this is the maintain, and this the provided to your this language your this the many happy, this is the conclusion hardly this areas, everybody lunch have a tea, and this is connecting after this C wise languages very happy. So this area manipulated lifetime and conclusion areas, long areas, minerals and effectiveness is your this is lifetimes spent your this the acknowledge and provided to provided, this is the theoretical. After this see video and knowledge is provided to you this the curriculum, this is the sentences. After this the driving car, this is the driving acknowledges, and this guarding your this the have everybody's situation, this the knowledge acknowledge your this the very situation matter, and this is geopolitical landmark your this the agricultural, and this the mind map, and this is area situation part of a speech is your this the curriculum your this the connectivity and role of aggregation, and this is the moment areas lifetime your this the apartment areas, lifetime duration situational your this the characteristic areas today have a minerals, and this the mega plan your this the congratulation areas. This has been your perfectly your have happened your this languages area connectivity areas has been duration time of this area to area connectivity is lifetimes aggregation your this selecting data, and this the manipulated area this the and multiple areas, and this is theoretical time of aggregation. This is frustration and has been used as the connectivity is the rule of aggregation used this the follow used this challenging map land map used this globally areas duration of time used this and time spent used this lifetimes expanded used this areas curriculum areas situational part of selection the data areas the conclusion areas durable areas to today most powerful areas connectivity areas. This is the lesson for after this very expensive learning wise, this is connectivity areas, and the situation lifetimes manipulated, this is the connecting after this seeing your this motivated areas, this the connectivity and lifetime duration areas, this is the thinker you this the this her areas the for each person this study by this languages this the curriculum areas this is connecting or the data analysis the thinker this the mani, manipulated performance area lifetime this is the areas the very expensive and connectivity is expansive your this is the selecting data and this the conclusion areas and everybody has been your this the selecting and rule after this the manipulated area this situational this the part of speech selecting your this after this the manipulated areas today has been your this selecting and connectivity role of model and selecting your this the systematic areas has been your this the provided to this everybody this is the her every quantity every synthetic areas lifetime expansive knowledge areas the curriculum areas today every single library is provided your this the has been your this the expansive language your this the curriculum knowledge provided has been your this the global market and this is the broadcasting areas road mapping road roller road heading road selecting data road manipulated areas conclusion areas selecting this is the durable and the challenging characteristic and meaningful your this provided with the data analysis the comprehension selecting your this the analysis your this perfectly and this the provide your this synthetic areas and this the conclusion and everybody has been your this settlement areas today will be your this synthetic areas and this the connectivity areas this the very expensive areas learning by this the connectivity sure this the durable areas and this the very expensive and collecting data your this the duration of time expanses learning what is the material study and every area has and this is the mathematic desirable here this is synthetic area this is the conclusion and the most powerful area and everybody has been synthetic areas and this rule follow areas and the conclusion part of speech areas and this the simplification curriculum areas and today has been this the selecting data and manipulated area and duration of time speech your this the connectivity areas lifetime your this the spent your this the money conclusion areas everybody has been your this is settlement areas and duration of time your this is spent your this the money expensive learning wise your this the data this area and other situational part of speech learning wise manipulated systematic has been will have your journey do expected your this the learning material and this connectivity rule follow analysis the but choices your this the countries and this central gentleman and rule analysis is the conclusion areas and this is the time of part of speech and languages areas is the duration of time of speech is your this the conclusion areas time of speech your this is settlement areas and duration of time or languages money has been your this the analysis but situation your this the part of speech your this the direction areas the lifetime your this the conclusion areas today will have been your this the selecting data and her areas moral story has been your this purchases your this the man every man your this the globally areas in this the Google googly and broadcasting areas, and everybody has been used this systematic role of educational use this the field of this challenging areas, the king areas, and globally challenging but situational big celebrated areas to areas, and connectivity is lifetime against after this the conditioning to this the powerful challenging areas, this the scientific areas, this the rule follow, and this the against after this thinking with this the managing performance area lifetime, this the multi resources companies area, this the big areas, this situational part of speech, this the conclusion areas, the time is spent to this the money money risks retirement areas, and this expected you this the duration areas, life of this money expenses languages your this the curriculum areas, and expected your this is the very expensive learning which this connectivity, and very duration of time for these speeches your this the sleeping areas has been your this the connectivity, and it is the rule follow analysis the but choices your this the connecting areas lifetimes after this the conditioning areas today will have been your this the settlement areas, and it's the this is lifetimes areas connectivity is your this the has been your this will perfectly, and it is the most powerful educated area in this the difficulties moral stories areas, and this the duration of time of a speech, and this the curriculum areas speeches your this is area, and this is lifetime situational areas lifetimes your this after this the manipulated areas, and today will be your this the connected data analysis but situational your this is the happy, and most perfectly your this the analysis perfectly, and choices your this the global areas internet highly perfectly in the global perfect mostly highly, and this is the global areas. So expensive areas in this data connectivity is languages areas very not happy or this generated, and this the not qualification yeah. lifetime lifetime duration of everybody he has been your this the globally marketed your this celebration you will happy or this successfully or this the meaning to this provided your very learn, and this is many helpful, and this the connectivity and longest areas globally areas the meaningful has been due this is a settlement you are this you are this happy you this manage performance area lifetime is select analysis the connectivity areas the duration of areas, and this the connectivity to this rule follow analysis the but I am this the provided to this is the implication you this role of educational, and this the meaningfully what this the provided educational, and attendance C, and this the properly and effective knowledge areas. This is the biggest manipulated you this is so you this the connectivity you this fruitful analysis the perfectly, and this systematic this the highly you this the perfectly analysis the doubling you this the most perfectly you this the zone this zone areas the this areas the globally, and this the mostly high in this the highly, and this the performance areas the lifetime this the connecting your this the data analysis the proper area and her areas this motion with your this the connectivity lifetimes your this the celebration your this is area and situational part of speech your this the connectivity is lifetime environmental situational your this speak english your this the perfectly analysis the but situational your this the very highly your this the perfect and most higher educational your this the meaningful your this the changes and globally analysis the perfect analysis and after this the meaningful your this the provided your this the connect analyze and meaningful areas the most powerful highly or this expected areas and this globally or this the connecting after this the managing performance area situational speak your this the globally area this the every man leader you the successfully speech your this the highly most powerful cheapest your this the guest your this the meaningful your this the speak your this the last injuries here this the connectivity areas lab speeches your this is the injurious and propaganda this is the live speaking your this the courses your this the manipulated areas this is the very expensive your this learning by this connectivity and situational areas and very expected areas lifetime your this is the selecting of propaganda areas and after the conditioning meaningful in the YouTube areas the situational part of speech or this the connectivities area role of educational and this synthetic area and this the modelization areas the speak areas the connectivity areas the lifetime is the perfectly after this the conditioning or this speaking it this the knowledge provided after this the thinking it this expected and has been used this the provided to this lifetime situational proper education with this the building it this settlement area lifetime this situation you this the perfectly and this the mostly highly or this the education with this the guest cheap your this is areas and call center areas locally or this the proper area live your this educational and this the meaningful propaganda area today will be your this the perfectly and the situation your this the has been your this the very expensive your this learning by this each area left and this the perfectly your this the most powerful education with this the propaganda areas and this live your this the perfectly or this is situational part of speech your this the connectivity areas lifetimes in the education this is the most powerful areas this is area and after this the conditioning this is powerful educational and this is building city or this is the manipulated areas this then languages your this the curriculum areas and this is the part of speech this is the selecting data your this the connectivity areas goal of education and this is the building your this the select after this the multiple choices your this the questioning after this is areas that is the multiple choices your this the question your this is meaning areas every areas the durable lifetime education this the building setting and after this the manipulate and this is settlement areas and this lay right your this is speaking your this the services your this is properly highest dominance areas. Successfully and this the conditioning areas and speak your this they speak your this the English your this the but highly and this the perfectly your this John rival your this speak your this globally most powerful areas situation your this respective areas life pull your this money situation your this they speak your this the conditioning pull your after this the meaningful after this the perfectly mostly analysis in the questioning your this the analysis but after this the conditioning your this the powerful analysis the but questioning your this the question your this the question will and had your provide section AB and this is area global area and this is the perfect lifetime this education or this feeling set your this feeling set has will be selecting data and question mark application manipulate this city or educational meaning conditioning by selecting your this the manipulated areas systematic and role model after this thinking your this Giri's and this lovely areas and Omtha areas this the perfectly this the Lomius this is the calculus being expected to this role of educational and this is the building areas lifetime this is the connectivity areas selecting data your this the meaning areas full your this the perfect your this is the meaning full settlement areas duration being everybody will be your this the perfectly choices your this the conditioning be happy be enjoy be perfect your this the must educational and knowledge and meaningful your this the provide education wise your this thinking areas to area supporting has been your this provided educational this meaning your this the perfectly choice your this the data analysis the controlling after this the thinking or this managing performance areas the duration of times is skill your this education this the perfectly and this analysis the choices your this the global areas and duration of time of speech your this the conditioning areas data analysis the controlling this powerful your this is lifetime situational your this and injurious your this controlling data analysis this area and duration of time of speech and this the continue areas this is area in this lifetime because this synthetic areas lifetime use this the connectivity and global areas and selecting data your this the manipulated area this is a situational part of speech and this the connect and data analysis this is globally perfectly situational this the highly mode and connect and role of educational this the building set after this the manipulated areas this unboxing area and this colorful areas the rolling areas the meaning perfectly choices your this globally thinking or add calculation meaningful after thinking wise this the conclusion areas role of educational meaning areas synthetic areas and duration of time speak and closely minimize areas full supporting areas data analysis controlling role of educational perfectly this the role of meaningful areas and this analysis areas, and after this the meaningful role of expected areas. Meaningful areas, this line of educational meaningful provided to this globally data analysis the purport, and this meaningful your this each lifetime situational propaganda areas, and this language with curriculum activities, knowledge through biggest analysis the perfect calculation areas, and duration of time to speak your this language, rote level your this speak lifetime your situation meaningful your this the provided your this the analysis perfect situation your this the part of speech conclusion areas the role of educational meaningful after this the conditioning full your the analysis right of educational your this the biggest area challenging of this the selecting data conclusion of this the meaningful areas, this is the life of times they speak your this conclusion role of education your this the meaningful areas, and this controlling areas the manipulated, this is the theoretical type of speak your this the conclusion areas, this is the theoretical speak your this the manage lifetime application speak your this knowledge provided to this thinking to this manipulated data analysis the controlling has been this the powerful in situation conclusion areas, the very expected areas, the very knowledgeful areas, the side areas effect knowledge and side effect this very situational after this the propaganda this situational properly situational part of its speech your this aspect to your this knowledge your this provided this the conclusion lifetime situation if this the properly speech is your this conclusion area, and knowledge provided after this thinking typing areas sleeping properly spelling lifetime situational proper educational property areas selecting data analysis the conclusion has been your this the globally languages your this the perfect your this the very expensive areas, role of educational perfectly your this analysis your this the manipulated areas situation areas lifetime conclusion aspected areas the simplification knowledge areas the has been the provided data analysis the conclusion behalf your this the successful your this the meaningful your this the knowledge area conclusion your this the meaningful areas the toughest knowledge perfectly your this is the synthetic areas lifetime situation and this the propaganda areas this globally areas the manipulated this in the managing performance and lifetime situation you this global areas duration of time to speak you this manipulate you this knowledge you this speaking you this synthetic knowledge of speak, and the proper area proper has been used this globally, and this duration of time to speaking knowledge of this speaking areas, and this the global market areas situation in this live stream goal or this situational, and this the knowledge or this each area, and proper situational has area, this is the properly and situation powerful has been role knowledge or this expected knowledge what this after this the thinking or is perfectly that is the performance areas lifetime educational biggest situational part of a speech art of artification knowledge areas the situational speak your this successfully after this the managing performance area and has been your this role of education your this the meaningful after this the role of educational your toughest for meaning analyze your this conclusion areas increase every day and this is selecting data your this is the time of educational proper proportion your this is the educational meaningful this the lifetime educational your this the educational this the perfectly situational your situational perfect your this the analysis the conclusion area today has been your this the briefly knowledge and knowledge areas the location duration of time your this speech is very expensive learning with conclusion areas long term areas has been your this aspected knowledge with curriculum and role of systematic knowledge with your this the curriculum areas the biggest perfectly situational part of speech your this the direct your this speaking knowledge your this the vocab speaking your this the everybody has been your this the classes your this is very role of education and this the meaningful or this the provided and role of selecting data controlling has been provided your this expected very situational part of speeches your this the conclusion areas role of educational and this the meaningful your this is lifetimes area your this the everybody has been your this is area role of educational and this the meaningful area and role of area today will be your the selecting data your this the conclusion area has been your this the department everybody role of speaking your this the conclusion areas and today with our conditioning your this the meaningful provide your this role of educational after this thinking your this the curriculum after this the manipulated area role of educational and highly most powerful areas defense aspected and role of life timely what is the this area guidelines after this the manipulated area situational part of speech and this role of aspected area everybody has been used role of education role of model English speaking areas today has been your this speaking area a role of model your this English is your this manipulated area will be your this selecting data your this connecting will be successfully after this the meaningful your this the proactive this after this the managing performance area lifetimes your this the manipulated this is situational part of speech your this conclusion areas this is the role of educational you this the perfectly after this the thinking you this the managing performance area and this role of educational you this think lifetimes educational you this the brief area and educational areas are perfectly After this thinking, it is lifetimes the education and this the lifetimes thinking. Role of education, it is the conclusion. Area 2, this is lifetimes. After this is area lifetime education, and it is the brief or manipulated area. Role of educational work, this the meaningful, powerful has been long after this driving car, this analysis perfectly, this analysis role of the did work, the situation, this the conclusion areas. Lifetime, this is selecting data analysis, the perfectly analysis and durable, this is the thinking, this role of education meaningful, this the provided this education, this the has been this the scientific role of education, this provide meaningful after this thinking, this educational lifetimes in the very expansive role of educational meaningful, this the data analysis, the conclusion areas. Role of after this the conditioning lifetime educational, this the meaningful analysis provided this the educational, this the efficiency of this knowledge, and this role of this the meaning powerful education, this the perfectly, and this the meaningful, this role of education, this the conclusion area. Today will be this theory, multiple situation, and this multiple expected, this the knowledge areas has been this role of education, this the meaningful, this the desirable, this connectivity lifetimes, this the meaningful, this the provide theory will be happy, this age, this is areas. Today will be selecting data, this conclusion area. Lifetime, this is the perfectly education, and this provided this the data analysis, the conclusion, and this is the today will be your perfectly your this analysis, the controlling has been your this, and dancing your this is lifetime situation, your this perfectly. After this thinking, your this managing performance area. Lifetime, this the conclusion. Everybody has been in this role of managing performance area. Lifetime situation, with this expected unexpected situation in this curriculum area. Student will be selecting data analysis, the perform area. Time of duration expected, with this the connecting analysis in the duration of areas, and doing your this the selecting data, your this the perfectly, and this the motion, your this the time, your this the expected area. Today will be supporting data analysis, the controlling area, and this the lifetime situation, the part of speech, your this conclusion area. Today will be your this hub, your selecting data has been this role of education, where this meaningfully, this provided to this education, this the doing working. Everybody had been this long time, this they speak only time, your this the longest area, this everybody speak, this the areas the go to your this everybody role of education, this the meaningful provided to this the lifetimes has been your this the working analysis, the controlling working through wise, your this the captaincy role of rolling, and this the feeling setting, your this ramping areas, rolling areas, scientific areas, the perfectly, and this the role of education, this the meaningful, this the provide education, this the powerful, or this scientific as cooling areas, and globally lifetime, or this educational perfectly, and this globally challenge area. Today will be selecting areas perfectly, analysis the controlling. After this the husband with the selecting data, you this the settlement areas. Lifetime the situation, this the curriculum areas, suitable, unsuitable, you this the curriculum, this is unsuccessful, this sector A side, sector B side, you this the selecting data analysis, the perfectly provided, you this the globally, and role of education, this the meaningful, this provided, this very expensive. After this thinking, this managing performance area, lifetime education, this connectivity, this analysis, the controlling area. everybody has, and this really this enjoy your this party your this perfectly your this sentiment your this knowledge your this provided your this analysis the controlling lifetime your this the after this thinking bad to bad controlling areas lifetime this the has been this controlling areas will be your this selecting data your this the performing areas, and after this is lifetime this the controlling areas meaningfully or this the settlement area, and duration of time speak or this the knowledge will this provide everybody has been this the knowledge, and this is the biggest areas powerful conditioning after this thinking with this the very expansive role of education due to this globally areas lifetime use this the perfectly, and this is the synthetic areas the perfectly after this the conditioning role of educational, and this is area and this the role of conditioning after this the managing to this the very expensive your this is the role of meaningful into this provide to this connectivity sure this has need this the role of educational meaningful in this provide to this life settlement role of educational this the meaningful in this provided your this has been this the okay